child, help us destroy these demons. Oh, please send me a brand new car and a prostitute while my wife's sick in the hospital.
Well, this is an interesting topic. First off, let me say that by throwing out the idea that it is a population control method was very clever on your part, because now you don't have to deal with that answer when it comes up, and it will come up. Secondly, you are obviously already convinced of the fact that evolution is guided in some way, due to the fact that when you talk about it, it is in terms which presupposes some kind of intelligence behind it. For example, you say, natural selection would not pass on a gene that is so detrimental to reproducing. How do you know what natural selection would or would not do? There is no thought behind it, it just happens, so no one can ever know what natural selection will produce, sometimes even producing things which seem detrimental. Of course, homosexuality is not really detrimental to the species, as only a small percentage of the population is homosexual. Can you imagine what would happen if that percentage wasn't there? People are worried about overpopulation of the earth as it is. Imagine if there were no gay people. You then say that gay people can't reproduce, which is a ridiculous statement. They're not all infertile people incapable of producing children. They just have no attraction to the opposite sex. Anyway, my next point is this. Why would natural selection produce genetic predispositions to infertility, such as polycystic ovary syndrome, a condition which often results in infertility? Analysis of the problem has revealed a genetic component, but this on its own doesn't explain the passing on of the condition, because how can a genetic problem with such a high rate of infertility be passed on through reproduction? Well, it also turns out that metabolic disturbances during pregnancy also affect the chances of contracting POS. I therefore suggest to you that homosexuality does indeed have a genetic component, but it is not this alone that causes it. There is also some interruption or change in the hormonal development of the child within the womb. This would therefore allow the so-called gay genes to be passed on without causing everyone who had them to be gay. This example doesn't mean I'm saying Now, just because I've used the example of polycystic ovary syndrome as a kind of analogy in this example, it doesn't mean I'm saying homosexuality is a disease or birth defect. It is simply used to demonstrate how genetic traits that would seem to hinder a species' reproduction can be passed on over several generations without causing a significant impact on species survival. Anyway, I hope you found that helpful. Laters.
Come on, relax, guy. I like amen, right, Ken? Give me an amen. Amen.
Please, Lord, this boy needs Jesus. Heal this child, help us destroy these demons. Oh, please send me a brand new car and a prostitute while my wife's sick in the hospital.